But as we actually look into the text, and we're only going to look at one of these in the text, I want us to think, have I become a Pharisee? Am I trapped in the prison of religion? And as I look at that list and as I look at this text, I think the one thing you see in Matthew 15 clearer than you do anything else is that Pharisees build extra spiritual fences, lots of them, just in case. God builds a fence in the Scripture, right? In the Scripture, God says, don't commit adultery, don't lie, don't have sex outside of marriage. Okay, that's the fence. And God says, if you go over the fence, you'll be destroyed. Don't go over the fence. And what human nature does is says, well, if that's the fence, I'm just going to cross over it a little bit, right? That's some human nature. It's licentiousness. But there's another side of human nature, and this is something that religious people specifically struggle with. They see the spiritual fence that God built in the Scripture, and they say, I want to build an extra one. And there's two different ways of doing this. One way is with wisdom. Wisdom says, here's what God says don't do. Here's who I am. And in light of my past experience, my current circumstance, and my future hopes and dreams, it's probably not good for me to get that close to the fence. I'm going to build a new fence right here. And so God says don't commit adultery. I'm going to put a filter on my internet. I'm not going to watch rated R movies. I'm not going to be alone with a woman. That's wisdom. All right, that's good. Legalism, or Phariseeism, the prison of religion, happens when you take your personal extra spiritual fence, you universalize it, and enforce it on everybody else. So everybody has to put a filter on their internet. Nobody can be alone with another woman. Everyone has to parent their kids the way you parent your kids. What is that? That's being a Pharisee. It's okay to go the second mile for Jesus. I think that's good. It's Phariseeism when you take your second mile for Jesus and you enforce it on everybody else. And again, I think it's well-intentioned. I think we mean the best. As parents, I know there's a tension because before your kids become believers, or maybe your kids are unbelievers, you're trying to protect them, and there is that parenting thing that I don't really understand right now, but hopefully someday I will. And I know that's a tension, but as you think about your friendships, as you think about your relationships, and as you think about your own view of reality and the people around you, especially believers, the spirit of a Pharisee is where you're saying, I'm going to take my extra spiritual fences and I'm going to put them on everybody else. Nobody can drink. Nobody can have a tattoo. You just pick and choose. Pharisees pick and choose in the Scriptures. This is what I want to pick. This is what I'm going to focus on. This I don't really care about the gluttony thing, but I'm going to focus on this. That's a Pharisee. Wisdom is taking an extra spiritual fence and putting it on you personally. Legalism is taking those same spiritual fences and putting them on everyone else. And it's neither